aboard! All aboard! Ah, well, hello there. So, you're getting on this train, huh? You know, I've been conducting this train for a good couple of years now. Been through a lot with her. I remember the "I got nothing up my butt" incident back in 2019. There was also the Florida man who threw a Bible at a police officer. Oh, and don't get me started about the year 2020. Oh, boy. Ah. So listen, if you're new here, I gotta read this this piece of paper for you. It's sort of a legal thing, you know. Here we go. Warning. The following show may feature some adult language and adult scenarios that are not suitable for those under the age of 18 to 21 years old. If you are under this age, please consult your parents and or legal guardians for permission to listen to this show. Listener discretion is strongly advised. Well, with that out of the way, will you still be getting on? Excellent. Well, let me just punch your ticket for you. And welcome to Trademark's Trainwreck. Good evening, passengers, and welcome to tonight's episode of Trademark's Trainwreck, a show featured on Celestia Radio, all fandom, all the time. With me here tonight is RandomGreymane.
If the Grim Fandango is a dance, is it a salsa? What is it?
And we also have qdHazen.
I think it's a point-and-click adventure from LucasArts back in the 90s.
Thank you. We're also going to have Sherlock at some point. He said he'd be here, but no, in all seriousness, he'll probably be here in a little bit during the.
He's doing his best to outrun the net that we put out. So we'll catch him eventually.
I like this mental image of just like whenever I do the train wreck, I just start up the fucking train. I set up a net that's like how the mail trains get like sacks of letters from posts.
Yeah, there you go.
And just do a fucking sweep on stations where y'all are just standing there for no other reason than to either get caught or to get your exercise before getting caught. Nothing like a quick jog before suffering through bullshit. Anywho, how are y'all doing tonight?
Well, until I got snagged by the net, it was pretty good.
I learned I can't levitate things today.
Yes, you mentioned this before we started. Would you like to regale the audience with your tale briefly about your experience?
No, not particularly.
To summarize, moving furniture to get a carpet set up is a bitch when you have as many health issues as RandomGreymane.
Well, that and there was nobody else in the house that could help me, so I literally had to kind of use a hammock design with a ratchet strap to lift the media table that has the stereo system and everything else off the ground so that I could get the carpet underneath it. And because I wasn't about to disconnect 80 billion wires.
Yeah.
So it was just,
And who would have thought that the second toe, the one that went to market, so to speak, was so important in lifting a table with a ratchet strap?
it wasn't. I told you I can't levitate things. I tried.
My point is, you're missing that toe, so you couldn't use it.
Oh, that's it. Okay, so the toe
all the
engages
toe's
my
fault.
levitation. The toe engages my levitation. So there we go. That's it's the telekinesis toe. It's like the mirror shard that happens in like The Shadow. Okay, where the one Khan gets a mirror shard to the head, and oh well, that shouldn't affect you unless you believe in telekinesis.
Well, I was going to more say it's like Finn McCool's thumb, you know? He can only have the wisdom of the universe when he's sucking on it.
Oh, there you go.
And
That
there's
works too.
Sherlock. How are you
Yeah,
tonight?
A little worn out. I decided to go a little heavier on my ab workout today because I was like, I'm tired of missing it in the mornings and I feel lazy.
That explains it.
So instead of a standard 3... No, I was home for a while. I was just resting before I hopped in the shower. So instead of the 3 sets that I normally would do, and then my cardio, I did 7 sets.
Ah.
This explains why he wasn't able to outrun the net.
Yeah, we were just making the fucking...
One minor correction I should point out: it is the piggy that stayed home, not Mark.
Correct. I wasn't going to correct you though.
Yeah.
I talked enough about my toes lately.
Anywho, I think with the preambles out of the way, time to do the spiel. Welcome to Trademark's Trainwreck once again, everyone. We're a dumb internet news podcast. We take a look at all the news that I've dug up over the course of a week or so, and we point and laugh at it, because you can't make this shit up sometimes. We're going to do the softcore material in just a bit, which is followed by a musical interlude, and then we wrap up with the hardcore material. But before any of that, we're going to have our first musical interlude, unless any of y'all have anything you want to talk about beforehand.
A small thing, I found out something interesting. So for anyone who listens to Celestial Radio knows that or has been listening to it for a while, knows that I myself am an amateur mixologist. I find alcohol to be a fascinating subject matter, and the chemistry involved in creating cocktails is really cool.
Yes.
I also find it really fascinating that us as human beings can drink something that, in all honesty, if refined in a proper way, can be used to fuel an internal combustion engine.
Yeah.
So, hence the people run and shine off their shine.
Yeah. So I heard about this interesting little tidbit of information about Jill Biden, the First Lady. She is a wine connoisseur. I'm like, oh, well, that's pretty cool. I mean, you can be a wino of amateur or expert level, but considering the fact that
I believe the term is sommelier.
Yes. That she and Joe... more the fact that she and Joe are pretty well off. They probably can get a hold of some good wine. And I bet you anything that she really got into being a wine connoisseur after about the 37th time she heard about Scranton. It's like, okay, I'm just going to top this off.
And there's your political joke for the evening, people.
Yay.
Yay.
Well, on that note, I think we will go to our first musical interlude for the night. You're listening to Trademark's Trainwreck, a show featured on Celestial Radio, all fan all the time. Except when it's telekinesis powered through your toes.
Or presidential winos.
That too.
Bazungas.
Welcome back, passengers, to Trademark's Trainwreck, a show featured on Celestia Radio, all fandom all the time. Let's start with a short, sweet, and simple article for the night. This goes under the category of Think Your Tattoos Through. Because this 45-year-old
That's
Illinois...
a category?
Well, it
We
pretty
have
much
another regret.
It pretty much is at this point. Because this 45-year-old Illinois inmate might want to invest in a headband before trial. Because, let me get the mugshot.
Head coverings, even headbands are not allowed in court.
Well, that's a shame for this guy.
Did he pull a Manson?
Well,
No,
take a look
not
at the
plus.
mugshot. For those who cannot see and are listening to the audio-only version of this podcast, we are looking at a man who simply has the words "fuck you" tattooed on his forehead.
I was waiting for it to be like "fuck the police," which would have been even more epic.
Nah, this guy kept it simple.
Right.
This is
I
45-year-old...
want to know how high or drunk you had to be to go into a tattoo parlor and say, I want you to write "fuck you" on my forehead so that everyone can read it.
Here, sign these 12 waivers.
This is 45-year-old Angel Skiteni, also known as Alejandro Lopez. Which one?
Okay.
He's being held on a $5,000 bond in connection with his arrest for burglary, theft, and possession of burglary tools. Skiteni is locked up in the DuPage County Jail in Wheaton, a Chicago suburb. And of course, he has the words "fuck you" tattooed on his forehead, and those have been around for the last, at least 17 years.
He must have pissed off the cops because in Illinois, possession of thieves' tools basically means he's holding lockpicks or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have had to really prove. Under most cases, they make them like prove intent. Okay, but I suppose maybe if he was busy unlocking a door when they found him,
I mean, the law, that particular law is vague across the country. Out in Arizona, where I'm from, you can be in possession of thieves' tools. But I'm like, so does that mean that a locksmith could get busted if the police felt so inclined?
Technically, according to the way the laws are written, usually yeah, and which is a really stupid thing. I mean,
Plot
you're
twist.
gonna. This guy's profession is opening locks. Okay, so
Plot twist, though. This guy was probably robbing a cop's house. It would explain it.
It would explain it, yes. It also wouldn't be the first time of that particular style of idiocy.
But yeah, just a nice, short and sweet article to open up on. And it only gets worse from here. Cherish this moment. Cherish this moment.
I do possess thieves' tools. When I was working in IT, because I'm retired now, yay! First, they wouldn't give me a straight storage space for like all the software boxes and other stuff. They just wouldn't, okay? But I needed a space to get to them. So basically what they would do is they'd say, okay, we're going to store all your software boxes in filing cabinets on the manufacturing floor. I'm like,
oh, thanks.
Okay,
Cool.
thank you. And so basically that organization hired a lot of temporary people.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say that. And so they would do things like jam screwdrivers into the locks and screw up this and screw up that. And I literally had to go out and get a set of lock picks and learn how to open those filing cabinets, okay, to get at the stuff I needed to, because people were constantly damaging the locks. And after about the fourth time that they did that, okay, he said, no, we're not calling the locksmith anymore. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I literally had to learn to pick locks to do my IT job, and that's why I possess lockpicks. Well, and they're fun. They're fun.
Well,
No, I'm dead serious. Go and like get a cabinet lock okay, like the kind that go over the two doors on a cabinet, and see how long it takes you, understanding lockpicks and how they work, see how long it takes you to unlock that.
Those are some of the easiest to get into.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you that you could probably do that one with a paperclip, which, by the way, is extremely difficult to do with any other lock. So, but there you go. It's a fun. There's even MIT locksmith or lock picking group that is, they have instructions and they have what to say when the police, happens to notice that you have lockpicks, and But yeah, it's a fun hobby.
We here at Trademark do not condone going down this rabbit hole of a hobby, especially if it leads to crime.
In all honesty, those cabinets, you don't even have to use a paperclip to unlock them.
No, you don't.
If you've got enough strength, you can just literally rip the door off.
Yeah, you can.
They're not made of that strong a steel.
Anywho, moving on down the list. Like I said, it only gets worse from here. Oh, man. I've of course got a very bad fucking pun for this next one. I've heard of beating your meat, but this is ridiculous. Woman busted for ground beef battery. This happened May 13th?
I got no words.
May 13th? Responding to a... Yeah, there you go. Responding to a report of a disturbance in the potato chip aisle of a Walmart in Ohio. Things I never expected to say for 500, Alex. Rest in peace. Police Tuesday arrested a Cleveland woman for allegedly striking a female victim in the face with a 10-pound log of ground beef.
Those things aren't light.
Yeah, they ain't light.
No, they are
10 pounds
not.
of anything is going to fucking hurt.
No, it's like...
Yeah, and, we need to know, did this come out of the meat cooler section or the freezer section?
I assume the cooler section.
That does make actually a big difference.
Yeah, it does.
If this thing was frozen solid, that'd be like getting hit in the face with a pipe.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look. The confrontation at the store in South Euclid, a Cleveland suburb, involved two women, Monica Garner and Precious Jackson. I'm just going to pause to take in the fact that...
Yeah, I'm going to leave that alone.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that alone, too. I'm going to move on. These two once lived in the same duplex, apparently, so say the cops. Jackson, 36, who was battered with the ground beef, previously secured a protection order against the 25-year-old Garner. So these two have history.
Or dare I say they have beef?
Shame on you.
So according to police, when the pair spotted each other, Garner threatened to beat up Jackson, as well as her child. I'm probably going to edit that last part out. Cop, because beating up a child even hypothetically is a bad thing.
Yeah, it is. We're talking about how awful this person is and how stupid they are. There's no reason to edit out just because a kid's involved. It's not like we're giving up the name.
Yes, and the kid was not really hurt as far as we can tell.
Fair. She was present, though, to hear this fucking madness and to witness this. Anywho.
Oh, yeah.
Garner, cops say, pulled down Jackson's mask. Okay, good on Jackson for wearing her mask. Garner attempted to spit on her. Wow, this is a fucking star. This is...
Yeah, this is a wiener.
When Garner missed the attack, she reached into Jackson's shopping cart and removed the pre-packaged meat log, which she then used to strike the victim a couple of times in the face.
Damn it.
In the weapons used section of a South Euclid Police Department report, the ground beef is described as a blunt object.
Yep.
These are the kind of meat logs which retail for around $22, and I assume that they're the same kind that are shown in the picture that we are being presented with. It's the all-natural ground beef pre-packaged tubes. Like, they're the big fucking tubes.
Yeah, you buy them if you've got a lot of burgers to make.
Yeah, or a shit ton of fucking spaghetti.
Yes and no. I mean, we used to buy the 5-pound ones, and we would break them up and put them in separate bags, and then put them in the freezer.
Yeah, this is true.
So,
that can be done as well.
But
So
I will say that if this is a 20-pound meat log, it probably
Or
wasn't
10.
frozen. Or 10-pound meat log, it probably
Yeah.
wasn't frozen.
was not
Because
in
they
the cooler.
usually don't froze the ones that big. So.
Right.
Yeah, pro tip for anyone out there. If you freeze your ground beef and then thaw it, you can't refreeze it.
Yeah, don't do that.
No.
Same with fish. Don't ever try and refreeze fish.
No. So Garner, who was shopping with her 5-year-old child, this fucking gets better and better. She was arrested for assault and violating a temporary protective order. Custody of the minor was turned over to a relative. According to police, Garner has a history of violent behavior and is subject to multiple active arrest warrants. Garner pleaded not guilty to the 2 misdemeanor charges during her arraignment in South Euclid Municipal Court.
I'm going to speculate that this woman's weekend attire is a red hat.
No,
with a particular
honestly.
set of letters on it.
Well, no, because Garner's 25 years old. I've never seen a 25-year-old wear the. Oh, I got fucking mixed up.
I was like, what are you talking about?
You were talking about the fucking MAGA caps. I was thinking about the fucking old ladies with the red hats.
No, that's not what I was talking about.
It's so fucking confusing now. Fucking.
Oh my god, we're confused.
There are 2 red hats now. Fuck. Anyway, what the fuck?
You know what? The reason I speculate about the hat color is because of the mask pull.
Yeah,
Okay?
Probably. I mean,
Because that's a real common technique that this particular group of people use. So,
yeah.
but that's pure speculation on my part. Pure speculation.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go down the rabbit hole of these people.
We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. We'll be here all night.
Yeah, exactly. Just what the fuck?
But, yeah, this is a. Yeah, okay, people that play D&D, this is what they call an improvised weapon.
I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing more to say. We're breezing through these mostly because I don't have anything to say. Just this is a fucking stupid mental image that I'm thinking of. Like when I look at this meat tube and I picture someone wielding it like a weapon, for some reason I hear fucking Duel of the Fates in the background.
Now that would be an absolute
That would
stunning
be
video.
hilarious.
That
would be a
great.
fantastic one.
Ground beef. It's 10 pounds. I don't know. Oh, just fucking. It's over, Garner. I have the 10-pound.
Like if somebody caught it on video and just like looped the gift with that music, that would be viral.
Yes, it would.
Yeah. On that note, moving on to Teslas.
Oh dear.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. I have never owned a Tesla car.
A lot of us haven't.
There's not one person on this podcast that is rich enough to have owned a Tesla.
No.
Not one.
I don't really have...
It'd be nice.
It would be nice,
It
yes,
would be,
but
because of how well appointed they are.
but...
Well,
fast.
they're starting to go down in price a little bit nowadays.
Yeah, but fun fact, if your Tesla's ever in an accident and it's repaired, you'll lose your supercharging ability.
Yep.
Oh,
even if Tesla repairs it, okay, they will disable supercharging on it. Okay,
Well, that's a crock of
tells
shite.
me, yes, it is a crock of shit. And those of you that want to know more about that, go look up a guy named Rich Rebuilds on the YouTubes, because he rebuilt a whole bunch of Teslas, and Tesla basically looked at the model numbers and basically blocked every model number that him or other people had done in the system. and now they're blocking them when they have an insurance adjustment on them. Like if the adjuster comes out and finds it, then they block the supercharging on it automatically.
Well, guys, okay, and everyone out there in podcast land, this is something I've said before, and I will say it again repeatedly. Elon Musk is not a good guy.
Nope.
He is not Tony Stark. He is not our friend. He is a bastard.
Moving on.
Well,
Otherwise, again, we'll be here all night.
Yeah, regardless of Elon Musk's I don't know. One thing that is on the rise right now, especially in Teslas, is something called full self-driving.
Yes.
We should point out right here and now that full self-driving is not the same as autonomous driving. This is not a self-driving car. I know it says full self-driving in the name, but it's not the same. It's like...
Yeah, that's not how it works.
I don't know exactly what full self-driving is. I assume it's like cruise control.
No, actually, what full self-driving is doing is that it keeps the car within the lanes. It uses radar and GPS and traffic notes and all sorts of other things to keep the car within its own lane, okay? But you still have to sit there and be ready to do things when the car tells you they need to get done. Like,
yes.
Hey, it will auto stop. It will do other, surprisingly fantastic things, but it is not autonomous, which means it would be driving itself. And
they also have the ability to, you can kind of drive it with your phone.
Yes. This is another piece of idiocy tech that we don't need.
Yeah. Remember, if anybody remembers James Bond, Tomorrow Never Dies?
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah. So they can do that now.
Yep.
Fantastic. Regardless of all that, though, what Gray said is perfectly right. You'd still need to be in the driver's seat to put in your own input. Otherwise, you'll end up like this numbnut. Tesla owner who drives from back seat got arrested, then did it again. This happened on the 13th. Yep.
Rich people ignoring the law because they're rich.
Yep. This is a bit of a hefty one, so I'm gonna kind of give you some snippets here and there. The California Highway Patrol said they arrested a man seen riding in the backseat of a Tesla Model 3 that had no one in the driver's seat. Param Sharma, 25, was arrested and, quote, booked into Santa Rita jail, end quote, on counts of reckless driving and disobeying an officer. This was a statement on Tuesday. Sharma was arrested after multiple 911 calls on Monday around 6:30 p.m. reporting a driverless vehicle, quote, traveling eastbound on I-80 across the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge toward the city of Oakland, end quote. Let me see. Param Sharma met the local news in San Francisco on Wednesday afternoon, not far from his mother's high-rise apartment. After getting out of jail on 2 counts of reckless driving, he pulled up sitting in the back seat of a Tesla with no one in the driver's seat. When asked if he purchased a new Tesla after the previous one was impounded, he said, "Yeah, I'm rich as fuck. Very rich."
What did I say? What did I say earlier? Rich people ignoring the law.
"I feel safer back here than I do up there," Sharma told the local news.
Oh my god.
But yeah. The officer who pulled over Sharma, quote, observed the individual move into the driver's seat. So he tried to pull that fucking shit, not aware that windows exist.
This is the same people that try and put their seatbelt on after the driver stops them.
After the driver stops them?
Or after the officer stops them.
There you go. He also posted videos from the back seat, just further compounding the issue.
Rich people being dicks and ignoring the law.
He's reading an article about himself titled "Man Seen Riding in the Backseat of Tesla with No Driver." In a video posted the day prior to this article being posted, he says, "I just got out of jail. I already got another fucking Tesla. You feel me? I'm rich like that. I came out of the pandemic a fucking millionaire, bitch."
Why do I have a feeling that this person got rich using the Robin
Unemployment.
Hood stock thing?
Maybe. Just fucking.
Because this is even particularly idiotic for a rich person. So
I don't know. I mean, have you heard of Math Gates?
Yes, I get it.
Anyway,
Either way, he's an idiot.
This sounds hilariously familiar to another story I heard about a Tesla that was driving.
Yeah, I think we might have.
Got something to say.
We might have covered the original arrest of this guy.
That's possible.
Yeah, it's very possible before the YouTube days. But yeah, you've been particularly quiet. You have any comments?
No, just fuck him.
Okay.
If there's anyone in this group of people who has a greater disdain for the bourgeois more than me, it is qdHazen.
Mm-hmm.
But being a man who has lived his entire life on good classic rock music during a time period where it was all about fuck the establishment, that's not surprising.
No, it's also modest living in a small Midwestern town that will do that. Even though by all rights, though by all rights, my family probably would be the type of people I would rebel against, but nope, we tried and keep things grounded, he said while breaking his arm, patting himself on the back.
Remember, all your guitars are ugly.
Nice in joke there.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the Ballad of El Kabong?
Yes, I am.
Well, moving on.
But before we leave this article, I do want to say, no, I'm not talking about the article when we covered him first being arrested. I'm talking about one earlier in the week I heard about, of a Tesla car that was self-driving, and the owner wasn't paying attention, and it self-drove. For some reason, the proximity alerts malfunctioned, and it self-drove right into a squad car, I think somewhere in Oregon.
I think I actually heard this one, yes.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised. That just the jokes right themselves.
Here's the thing. There's too many people that actually do this shit. Okay? Once Tesla released this particular feature, there were all sorts of idiotic police and accident incidents. Okay?
Yeah.
Things like guys riding with their feet on the dash. Or, hey, I was watching this movie on my phone while my car drove. This is kind of like one of the reasons why I don't ever want, like, flying cars.
Oh, God.
Okay? Because, if people can't handle a self-driving thing, safely, what are they going to do if they're in the air?
It's going to look
not even if it's given to you for free by a degenerate German scientist who enjoys seeing pain and has a foot fetish.
Oh God!
It's gonna look like
that's an obscure joke.
It's gonna look like fucking Cyberpunk 77 on release day. Anyway.
Anyway.
What's left?
So but no, the whole thing about running into a squad car. God, what was that horrible joke I heard? Oh yeah, the driver will also be charged battery.
Oh, boo.
Did you like that one? I'm trying. I can't do a Johnny Carson impression.
Yeah.
What do you think of that one?
One last softcore article, also involving a car. This one's more hilarious than stupid. Well, it's still stupid.
They're all stupid.
This brings me back to the days before the YouTube iteration. Note to all people who want to who wants to run away from the cops in cars. Make sure your gas tank is full.
Oh, God.
High-speed chase ends after suspect runs out of gas. This happened May 17th. This happened in Kentucky. Of course, they make a joke.
He wasn't storing an extra tank of gas in a trash bag in the back.
Yeah, I've been hearing all of that.
There's pictures. I cannot understand what mentality people have to store gasoline in a trash bag.
Because we're living in the fucking like. This is the world before Mad Max. This is the world before Mad Max.
This is the world of Mad Max.
Yes, we're getting closer to it.
We're getting closer.
No, guys, you're both wrong. This is the world of pre-Idiocracy. That that movie.
Oh God,
yeah, the Mike Judge movie. Yeah.
That was actually a good movie. I liked it. Now, here's the thing: trash bags are not the right plastic to not be eaten by the ethanol in modern fuels. Okay, that bag is going to burst at some point soon in the future. The same with all those nice big water totes, the white ones that you see, okay, that people are filling with gas. That's the wrong type of plastic, and that the ethylene in the gas, or ethylene, good Lord, ethanol in the gas will eat through that plastic. So in like maybe a month, these plastic storage things are going to be useless.
Yep.
Well, less time than that for the trash bags.
Yeah, the trash bag is I give it like a week at most.
Yeah, I'm waiting for pictures of these same people like taking a photo of like this pile of napalm they've essentially created of of melted plastic and gasoline, and them saying, "Well, I thought that I could store it like this. No one told me I couldn't."
Everyone did.
This is why.
Everyone did.
You just didn't listen.
This is why even plastic jerry cans are colored red, because
That's
those
correct.
are the proper plastics to hold gas.
This is correct.
Mm-hmm.
You are correct. You gain 10 extra points.
Directing our attention back to the article proper. In spite of everything we've just said, which was caused by the recent cyber attack which shut down a vital U.S. pipeline.
Which I might add, the reason it was shut down was not because the mechanics stopped working. It was because they were afraid they couldn't properly bill people for the gasoline.
Yep.
And that's why they shut it down.
That's the entire reason.
It is. Absolutely.
So let's spare a thought for those abruptly plagued by a lack of fuel at the worst possible moment. Like trying to outrun the boys in blue. That was the fate that befell a Kentucky motorist over the weekend when a wild police chase drew to a rather limp conclusion. Stephen Alford, 47, of Round Hill, came to the notice of cops on Saturday afternoon after his bright yellow 2015 Ford Mustang was allegedly clocked doing 143 in a 70-mile-per-hour zone. Gotta go fast.
He wasn't flooring it, I could tell.
No, yeah, that's not that fast.
It's not that fast, but
Still pretty
it's
fast. It's just over twice as fast as it should be.
This is correct.
Kentucky State Police called the Nelson County Sheriff's Office just before 1 p.m. to help catch the rogue vehicle traveling east on Bluegrass Parkway. Cue a lengthy high-speed
His
pursuit.
name Bluegrass Park? Oh my god.
Problem?
Most Kentucky road ever.
The most Kentucky road.
So, of course, cue a lengthy high-speed pursuit, which only ended, according to police, when Alfred's car ran out of gas. Though he wasn't quite done yet. Despite being a sitting duck, he allegedly had to be forcibly removed from the car by cops after refusing to exit of his own record. Record?
Well, at least we know that...
Duh.
Accord. Well, at least we know he was white then.
Yep.
Otherwise, he would have been shot.
Yep, they would have shot him through the window.
Alrighty. Alfred was arrested and hit with a slew of charges, including speeding, fleeing, or evading police, reckless driving, 4 counts of wanton endangerment, operating on a suspended or revoked license, and resisting arrest. He was taken.
All of those actually line up.
He was taken to the Nelson County Jail, where he is doubtless in need of a refuel.
Yeah, the 4 counts of endangerment can either be 4 drivers on the road that he passed, or they could have just said it was the cops who were chasing him.
Yeah, it could have been 4 cops chasing him.
Yeah. Typically, though, my experience, if you're getting slapped with an endangerment charge, it's civilians on the road that you pass at a reckless driving rate. So, like, if you're hitting, what was it, 70 miles an hour he was doing on a 35?
143.
143, sorry. On a 70?
Yes,
yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So if he's, like, blowing past civilian motorists doing that, yeah, that's an endangerment charge slapped on there, because it's a reasonable assumption of harm that could come to the other motorists.
Yep.
Well, on that note,
I hope this guy loses his car, because that's obviously a custom car or something that he's very, very fond of. I hope it gets sold for scrap. I really do. Because it's one thing to speed, okay, because everybody's done it. Okay, it's another thing to take your car out for track day. All right, it's a totally different thing to get on the road and do 140 miles an hour down a highway. Okay, that's a particularly idiotic form of danger. So,
well, on that note, that's it for the softcore material this week. And, oh boy, the hardcore material. The hardcore material. It's gonna be something. But, before we get to that, it's time for our second musical interlude for the night. You're listening to Trademark's Trainwreck on Celestia Radio, all Phantom all the time. Except when it's all these fucking dumbasses putting gas in bags. What is wrong with us?
I mean, the Joker is actually just the madness savant personified, okay? But that doesn't give him an excuse to do everything that he means to do, okay? There's just some poor writing out there.
Anywho, welcome back to Trademark's Trainwreck on Celestia Radio, all Phantom all the time. It's time to start the hardcore material. And where better to start than with an immature loser? This particular article happened on May 18th, where a softball player ejected from a game clips fellow player with his car. Let me see. This happened in Fruitland Park, Florida.
Florida man.
Yep.
Not surprised.
This is a 21-year-old softball player who was accused of intentionally clipping another player with his car after leaving an adult softball game in a huff. A Lakeland County deputy was watching a softball game Monday night at Cal's Park in Fruitland Park when they saw a Dodge Challenger driving at a high speed down Century Avenue in a reckless manner. The deputy could hear the tires screeching and the vehicle suddenly turning toward a woman walking in the grass. The deputy said the vehicle looked to be inches from hitting her. The deputy asked the woman if she was okay or knew the person behind the wheel. The vehicle clipped the side of the woman's leg near her hip, according to the report. The woman said the driver was Andrew Gonzalez, 21, and he was one of the softball players who was ejected from a game. The report does not state why Gonzalez was ejected. The victims...
You see, this is where the unwritten rules of baseball or softball are supposed to come into play. You don't run them down with a car. You just get the pitcher to bean him in the next at bat. You know, like a real man.
So, the victim said Gonzalez was upset and intentionally turned his vehicle toward her. The deputy informed dispatch and provided a vehicle description. Soon after, another deputy located the Challenger and stopped the vehicle. Gonzalez told the deputy he was upset and wanted to rush home to cool off, but denied trying to hit the victim with his car. He used an expletive to describe how the victim was acting that night. Gonzalez was arrested and charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and taken to the Lake County Jail. The arrest report did not state if Gonzalez was on the winning or losing team the day of his arrest. File that under the category of who cares.
Yeah, all we know is that he got pissed off and he probably thought the ref gave him a bad call or something.
You know what? I consider him a losing team all on his own.
Yeah.
I'm going to fess up right now and say that I thought that this was an article about a guy clipping another person's vehicle with his own vehicle. So I'm glad that this is not a case where this woman was made into a fucking pancake and she pretty much got clipped with the vehicle. Like, I'm glad there were no, what's the right word? Outstanding injuries. So, either way, this guy is a fucking loser.
Florida man, lives in the South's garbage can. Is he on drugs? No one can tell. One thing we know, he isn't well.
No.
It's not important, Florida man.
Yeah. Just over a softball game. You got ejected.
At least it wasn't a little league game.
Oh yeah, that one I would have been like,
oh my god.
Those have resulted in straight murder.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, those. This is one reason I hate sports, because when someone's in a bad mood or they're on the losing team, shit happens. And that shit is never good.
No, I swear to God, if I ever have kids, like, and they say, I want to go into sports, like, okay, I want to go into baseball. Nope.
No.
Why not? It's like, I'm not dealing with little league dads. Are you kidding me?
No.
Like, I'll send you a sport that all the other dads think is stupid, but is actually secretly really badass. Here, you can be a dancer.
You can do archery.
Yeah.
Then you don't do competitive dance, because then you have to deal with cheer moms.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh god, yes.
That reminds me of a fucking comedian's joke. I don't recall the name of this comedian, but the joke was, I'm going to have a son. My friends ask, oh, what if he turns out gay? Well, then I'll go to dance class instead of football practice. I don't care. But I'm not going to change. You call that a pirouette? Get your fucking head in the game.
Well, that's good dadding, actually, right there.
That's
Yes,
a good
it is.
dad. That's a
Absolutely
good dad.
dadding.
But regardless...
And generally speaking, there are always going to be people who live vicariously through their children to try and overcompensate for their own deficiencies in athleticism.
Mm-hmm. But we're
What
not
is the
talking...
sports you speak of?
Yeah, we're not talking about a guy living vicariously through their child. We're talking about a guy living like a child. Just a child with access to a fucking car. I said this last week. I have been mad, but I've never been that mad. Just fucking...
I've been mad enough to think about it.
Okay, I'll be honest. I've been mad enough to think about.
Well, of course.
Gray, you think about like crimes all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, the difference, though, is that when I think about crimes, normally it's, hey, this is kind of cool. He should have done this.
Yes.
Okay? It's not, I'm going to fucking kill that shithead. Okay? Because there have been very, very few times where I've been in that position. Okay? The boyfriend that basically fucked my sister and then dropped her and went away because he fucked her before she was of legal age. Okay.
Ooh.
And I seriously considered my options, and I decided that I didn't want to not be able to keep an eye on my little sister the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
So.
Good call on your part.
So moving on from near vehicular homicide over a softball game.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
move
this
on
is-
to
wow.
let's move on to someone surprisingly even dumber. We live in
I call dibs on Florida.
well, we'll take a look. We live in an interesting time where certain I don't know how to put this. Fuck it. I'm just gonna read the fucking headline. Because Trademark's
This is
not good
usually
at making segues. Woman said she called in casino bomb threat as a way to blow off steam after slot machine losses.
Oh, if this was Vegas, she'd be in trouble.
Oh God, yeah.
Ah.
I mean, I have very little sympathy for the house in any gambling establishment. I
Mhm.
do. Okay, because the games are rigged, 100% all
Of
the time.
course.
Okay, but this is a little far.
This is why the one time I went to Vegas, I only played on one slot machine, and it was like baby's first slot machine. I won $5 from that slot machine.
I'm laughing a little bit because my wife and Mrs. Greymane is going to kill me after she hears this episode. My wife and I went on a riverboat thing years and years ago, and she's like, "Oh, well, I played the slots and I lost this and I lost this, but I got a free hat, so I won a free hat." And I'm like, "No, you paid $14 of lost money for a hat."
Yeah.
Oh, I won a hat. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. That's not how that works.
Yeah, it's kind of like when I was a kid at the
I'm gonna
at
get
the county
smacked for this one.
fairgrounds. I was a kid at the county fairgrounds, and there's the ring toss game, and one of the ring toss prizes was a hand crossbow, and I really wanted it. I probably spent $30 on rings to get that crossbow, and I eventually got it, and then I found out how much those things actually cost.
Yeah, it's like
I was
$10.
like, wow, I paid I gave him like $15 more
Yep.
than I needed to.
This is why carnival games get a bad rap. Okay,
Yep.
very few of them are not rigged.
Anywho, getting back to the article proper.
Mhm.
This happened May 13th. Angered over losing nearly $400 playing slot machines, a Florida woman, there you go, Greymane,
There we go.
she told police that she phoned in a bomb threat to Tampa Casino because she wanted to blow off steam. Investigators charged that Adele Belizaire, yeah, that's right, Belizaire, 54, she used her cell phone to call the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Tuesday evening to claim, "I left a bomb in your casino."
Oh, it's not even. She didn't even do the. I saw a bomb in your casino. She did a. I left a bomb.
Yep.
That's even worse. And something else to point out here. That's a tribal run casino.
Yes, it is. Which
Ooh.
means she doesn't get standard police.
Ooh, dear.
She gets
She
tribal
gets the-
police.
Nope, she gets the feds.
Oh, you know what? You're right.
Yeah, tribal police wouldn't handle stuff like this. Tribal police handle stuff that's on the reservations and
You are
kind of
correct.
minor traffic
You are
things. Any major crimes are handled by the federal agents.
Belzaire, cops say,
Wow.
phoned in the threat while in her room at Clearwater Beach Hotel. Since Belzaire is a member of
Calls
the...
coming from inside the hotel.
Yeah, no shit. Since Belzaire is a member of the Hard Rock's Players Club rewards program, and Trademark's words just started to fucking implode upon themselves, her phone number was in the casino records. Oh. This led to her identification as a suspect. After tracking Belazaire's phone, cops confronted her around 4 a.m. the day prior. April 12th, for
You mean the day
context sake.
after?
No, it was, this article was written May 13th. She was confronted May 12th.
Oh, okay.
My bad. Belazaire, the complaints report, said she became upset after losing around $380 on slot machines. Noting that she has anger issues, Belazaire reportedly confessed to calling in the bomb threat as a way to blow off steam.
Oh.
Belazaire was arrested for making a false report about planting a bomb, explosive, or weapon of mass destruction. Belazaire, who has pleaded not guilty to the felony charge, you confess to doing it. She's being
No. Hold on. She was probably just arraigned. At arraignments, they always say, "Your Honor, my client, we enter a plea of not guilty, and would like to request a case management conference while we work out plea arrangements." That's standard procedure.
Well, either way, she's being held in the county jail in lieu of $20,000 bond.
Maybe she can win something at the horse race. Maybe there's an OTB in the prison. I mean, it's Florida, so
Lord forbid
would
that
not
she
surprise
loses.
I'm just stunned that she called it in as if she planted it. Okay, that's a particular level of idiocy. Okay, because well, one, if you're going to call in a bomb threat, you don't tell them you did it.
Yeah.
Okay. I am the one that made the bomb.
Yeah, no, Gray's right, because if you call in from a legal standpoint, if you call in the bomb threat and say, I think there might be a bomb in there, even if you're outright lying, you're not straight confessing to I left a bomb in there, you're not admitting to a fucking federal level felony.
Right.
You're basically saying, I thought I saw something. That's still, if you get caught doing that, that's still a felony, but it's not nearly, because you're lying. You're basically creating a panic. But the problem is, if you straight up say that you did it, you're like, it's a whole nother level. It's weird. It's one of those weird legal things where if you use, it's the words you use can change everything about how your case is tried.
Right.
Exactly.
It's almost like you go from being an innocent prankster to being a terrorist. Okay, because you basically yelled fire in a crowded theater is what it amounts to, and it's just, oh my god, I can't believe this. This is some particularly uninsightful person. I don't know.
I don't know either. Moving on. Now this next one I had to put in a fucking warning because this involves a gross scenario, so if you're eating, maybe skip. Maybe skip. So don't never say that Trademark didn't do anything for you, okay? Here we go. Louse doused woman with liquid waste. I warned you.
Okay.
This happened May 18th.
This? You're saying the Laotian government dumped human excrement on a woman. Louse.
Yeah, louse.
I think you stretched
I
too
thought you
far.
said, Louse, Louse, not Louse, Laos.
Either way, May 18th. A South Carolina man doused his girlfriend with a bucket of urine during an argument in the couple's apartment.
Ugh. Why does he have a bucket of urine?
Let's find
Do
out.
they have a
Don't?
composting toilet?
Let's find out. Responding to a 3:15 a.m. disturbance, Myrtle Beach cops spoke with the 27-year-old victim, not identified, who, quote, did have urine-soaked clothing. The woman said that her boyfriend, Fred Funny,
Funny, I think.
Funnye. Funny.
Funny.
He's 61 and he got drunk earlier in the evening and, after returning to the residence, started an argument about with his girlfriend about favors that needed to be done.
He wanted her to suck his dick.
I'm gonna go that that's probably the right thing, yes.
More than likely. After Funny called her a bunch of profanities, the woman said he grabbed a bucket he uses to relieve himself with and threw it at her. Well, there you go. I guess that answers that question. Why? Do you not have a toilet?
Well, here's the thing. There are times when you have medical conditions where it's better for your medical condition to stay in bed and use a bucket or a pee bottle, okay, or a commode, okay? But you empty those because they smell really badly really quick, okay? And this... Why did he have a full bucket?
Yeah,
Andy,
again, why?
I don't
I'm still
know.
curious as to why he had a bucket at all. Were they living in a trailer and they didn't have proper plumbing?
I don't know.
You know,
the report does not address this.
If you have a composting toilet, the liquid and the waste are separated, okay? But it's not usually just stored in a separate bucket.
Yeah. An officer on scene reported spotting liquid on the floor and smelling urine. Upon being woken by a cop, Funny, who smelled of alcohol, denied throwing anything at the victim. He was arrested on a misdemeanor domestic violence charge. The couple, the victim told police, have dated for 4 years and began living together about 5 months ago. An online wedding planner indicates that the pair is engaged, with Funny having proposed at Walmart.
Yeah, not for long.
This is
Not for
pretty
long.
Florida.
Classy.
Very classy there.
No, remember, guys. One of our co-hosts' favorite fangirl. One of her favorite movies has a wedding at a Walmart.
To quote the Weird Al Yankovic song, I Lost on Jeopardy, "You're a complete loser!"
No, don't bring Don Pardo into this. His ghost does not know
Anyway. Just...
Fuck this bucket.
Yeah. I'll forever...
You're an awful human being, and I really hope that you enjoy the single life in your 60s.
If they were engaged before, they're probably not now, so I'm okay with that.
I am forever going to rename this guy Mr. Bucket. If anyone gets that reference, thank you.
Socks got it.
Anywho, one last article. And this was a last minute addition that I had to look this over, and oh Lord. Oh Lord, this is the definition of a hot mess.
Oh Lord, it coming.
Naked woman nabbed after mini standoff. Here's the tagline.
What was she standing off with?
That's a good question, because here's the tagline. Suspect never stopped pleasuring self during incident. Ah, that is a magical reaction.
OCD plus sexual activity?
Let's find out.
I can't stop.
Let's find out. May 19th. Responding to multiple 911 calls about a naked woman, quote, walking around and jumping in and out of vehicles, end quote, at a dealership, Minnesota cops discovered a nude 35-year-old suspect pleasuring herself while splayed across the floor of a pickup truck.
I chalk it up to drugs.
It's
I'm going to
Minnesota,
say
after all.
alcohol.
Let's see. Police dispatchers that Sunday were initially told that the naked woman was sitting alone inside a Pontiac SUV and that she, quote, looked happy and did not appear to be hurt but appeared to possibly be under the influence, end quote. The cop, when...
Influence of...
Why a Pontiac?
Well, we'll see. When cops arrived on the scene in Mankato... Hey, we're back here again.
Oh, we're back to Mankato again.
The Pontiac was found running with the driver's side door open, but the vehicle was empty. Nearby, officers spotted a Chevrolet Silverado with its rear driver's side door open. They also noticed feet sticking out of the door. When approaching the SUV, a patrolman spotted Jennifer Dorrit Weber, 35, quote, lying across the floor of the second row. The naked Weber was on her back, feet in the air, digitally penetrating herself. I'm just going to say that that's probably a dildo or something. So I'm guessing that's what
digits are your fingers.
Oh, okay.
Digitally.
Yeah, that threw me off for a wee bit there. Cops say Weber was making nonsensical comments and said she thought she was in St. Petersburg, Florida. Asked what brought her to the Mankato area, Weber replied, to please the boys. Investigators...
Yeah, acid.
Okay.
I'm going to go with acid.
It's possible.
Investigators
Start of
noted...
meth, perhaps? Based on the mugshot?
Maybe. Investigators noted that Weber continued to masturbate as she spoke with the officer.
Then get a female officer there, restrain her, and keep her from doing that.
This lasted over the next hour. Police say they summoned an EMS crew and they tried to coax Weber out of the SUV for all that time. Throughout this time, Weber was making nonsensical statements and continued to masturbate. Finally, after prolonged negotiations, Weber exited the SUV and was taken into custody and transported to a local hospital. Police say they recovered methamphetamine. Hey.
There we go.
You got it, cutie. First time user, definitely.
And, coincidentally enough, the first time QD actually had a meth radar pickup. I'm surprised Greymane didn't make a comment earlier.
I wasn't sure. She was just too nonsensical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on top of that, look at her mugshot. She doesn't look like a meth addict. So Cutie was right. Probably first time using it.
This is true. There was also other drug paraphernalia that was recovered following the conclusion of the May 9th standoff. The SUV's owner told police that his vehicle was being serviced and that Weber did not have permission to enter the Chevy.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah, can't imagine why.
Well, his vehicle was being serviced, just not in the way he wanted.
No!
So, Weber was subsequently booked into the county jail for indecent exposure, narcotics possession, DWI, and entering a vehicle without the owner's permission, all of which are misdemeanors. Weber...
DWI? Like, wait, she wasn't driving while intoxicated?
I'm thinking the police pinned that on her because she was in a car.
In a car. Probably
the car was
definitions in Minnesota.
Well, no, the car was running.
Yeah,
so,
this is true.
Yeah, I was about to say the car has to be running for them to give her that charge.
And it was, so.
Yeah.
But I'm more confused about why it took an hour. I really
There are so many
I
jokes that one could
wanna
make
say
as
it.
to why.
I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it.
Yeah, neither do I.
But you know what were they doing in this? We were observing the suspect.
No, seriously, just like, guys, go in there, drag her out, cuff her, wrap her up, wait for the EMTs.
Yeah, it's that simple.
An hour. This should not have taken an hour.
No.
I think there's probably a bit of reticence on the part of the officers, as they do not want the case thrown out due to potential sexual harassment.
Then you get a female officer.
Yeah, then
in.
you call a
Yes,
female
female
officer
officer.
in.
Yeah. Either way, that still doesn't take an hour.
No, it does
Okay.
not.
I'm sorry.
Like, is this town so small and so fucking, like, you know, toxic that women don't want to get into the workforce? Because, you know, Fargo proved to us that Minnesota women can be cops.
Either way.
What I can't forgive, though, is the smoking gun here,
Hmm?
who published this article, has this picture of the state of Minnesota with the word "nice" in the middle.
Yeah, that's a little... What the fuck, guys? Come on.
I'm guessing that's a joke that flew right over my head.
Well, typically what you're supposed to do when you say nice is if somebody uses the term 69 in a non-ironic way.
That's a bit of a stretch, honestly, though.
Well, yeah, but they're just referring to it like they're just referring to nice as in like, we caught this woman masturbating. Nice. No, you don't want to say that when no.
Yeah, not in
not
this
a
case.
good moment.
Furthermore, Minnesotans have this reputation of being, like Canadian levels of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Minnesota is kind of diet Newfoundland.
Anywho,
Newfoundland.
to wrap up this article, Weber, whose residence is listed as a home in Arlington, a city 40 miles from Mankato, she has since been released from the Blue Earth County lockup.
Blue Earth County? Really?
That's
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So, just wow.
Again, why an hour?
Why an hour? Why any of this? Like, I know meth.
I'm just gonna lean here. I'm gonna lean here, and we're gonna watch the show and observe the suspect, and we're gonna make sure she doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, no.
Dispatch in the air. Do you want me to dispatch a female officer to secure her?
No.
No.
EMT,
That's okay.
That's okay. EMTs are on their way. My big question is, here's another question that kind of relates to Gray's question. Why the fuck did it take EMTs an hour to get out there?
Yeah, that's another one.
Probably because it wasn't technically an emergency.
No, the second they ask for EMTs are dispatched, and they have to assume that it could be an emergency.
Correct.
Especially when PD,
they fire up.
Especially when PD, like, requests them.
Correct. They fire up the lights and they roll through stoplights. They don't just run through them, or they're not supposed to anyway.
Yeah, that's cops that do that, not EMTs.
Yeah.
But no, seriously. So we got an hour of cops just watching this woman, and an hour that takes the EMTs to get there and actually coax her out, and then take her into it's not custody with EMTs, but take responsibility for her. Whatever, I don't know. And I'm still just kind of like, there's so much on this article that is, like, I'm agreeing with Gray. There's so much of this article that is rubbing me the wrong way. And I'm like, why?
There is something going on here, but we're not going to dissect it any further. Well, that's it for this week's episode. Nice to end on a better note than the majority of the last few shows. Oh, dear, just... Whew. Meth is a hell of a drug. Anyway, that's it for...
It's assault.
Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting that.
A lot of drugs are salt.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, like I said,
But
thanks.
it's not assault with the deadly meat.
That's it for this episode of Trademark's Trainwreck, a show featured on Celestial Radio, all fandom all the time. With me here tonight has been RandomGreymane.
I'm going to try and levitate your microphone.
We also have had qdHazen.
I'm just open the doors and get me out of here.
And Sherlock.
Hey, again, at least we don't end the show like they did. At least we don't end the show like the end of is it Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, or was it Silver Streak?
I don't know.
You're going to have to be more specific.
Yeah.
Now, the train crashes into the station at the end of the
Silver Streak.
Yeah, Silver Streak. There we
Silver
go.
Streak.
Well, in
I was
either
going to say,
case-
if we're going to end badly, we would end up on a different train stuffed in a car in a gorilla suit. That would be a worse ending.
Yeah. Anywho, like I said, thank you very much for listening to this week's episode. If you're listening to the YouTube version, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fucking garbage. As always, our theme song was created by Marivex, and our banner art was created by Court Awesome. You can find their social media, our social media, and all the articles in the description below. My name is Trademark, and good night.